Welcome to the Programming Alliance podcast, where we are on a mission to build young patriots and productive minds. Today, we've got a really interesting topic: Heterosexual Awesomeness Month. Ever thought about that? Paying homage to, those who brought you into this world? Well, in Eagle, Idaho, a bar named the Old State Saloon, owned by Mark Fitzpatrick, has done exactly this. What inspired him? What else do they have in store? Tune in. You're not going to want to miss it. Let's go. Mark, welcome to the Programming Alliance podcast. It is so great to have you on the show. You came out and declared at Old State Saloon Heterosexual Awesomeness Month during the month of June. And so we're curious, what encouraged you to do that?
Well, let's see. So I think we're running into the month of June coming up. It was actually quite a last minute type of decision. It's not abnormal for our bar to do things that are unusual. We're the type of place that says, hey, bring in your religion, bring in your politics, bring in your crazy ideas, and let's discuss them rather than keep that stuff out of here. This is not something totally abnormal. We did look at the month coming up. It definitely over the last several years has become a bigger and bigger thing for the way folks decide to celebrate that month, and more extreme. And all of that has just become a whole lot for a lot of people. Obviously, it's too much for a lot of people. And so we were thinking, hey, we don't want to be negative against what other people are doing. We believe in freedom. People have the freedom to choose and celebrate what they want to do, as long as they can do it within the bounds of the law and not take away other people's freedom. So that's fine. We're for that. But can we do something that's positive during that month that would not be the same thing that necessarily somebody else is doing? So we decided to celebrate heterosexuality. And in thinking about that and thinking about God's plan, it just seemed like a really awesome thing. And so awesomeness fit right in there. We didn't want to be lumped in with anybody else's branding or words. So Heterosexual Awesomeness Month was it. We moved forward, and boy, oh boy, did it take off.
Did anyone tell you not to do that?
So a couple people I mentioned it to said, I don't know if I would poke that beehive or poke that bear. So I did take that in consideration. I did take other people said, go for it. Other people said, you're crazy to do that. I did take it all into consideration, thought about it, prayed for wisdom, like I always try to do, and ultimately made the decision to move forward with that. Because, again, just thinking, hey, we're not going to attack anybody. We're going to just promote and celebrate heterosexuality. And so I didn't think it would be too negative. But there was a lot of people that felt negative about it, too. They didn't like it.
So, when this happened, how many news channels have come to your bar, and what's the attention been like? The attention.
Yeah, so news channels coming to the bar, I would say only 2 have come to the bar. Some independent folks came in and did some interviews, but almost all of the interviews have been like this, where it's via my laptop and somebody else's camera somewhere else. And so there's been a lot of those. I've been doing maybe 2 a day on average, some days 4. And some of them are very quick because it's on OAN or a bigger news channel, Fox News. I've done some up to 45 minutes or an hour on. Sometimes people want to just talk about the very superficial stuff and get the quick story. And other times people want to ask me all kinds of questions that are not even about Heterosexual Awesomeness Month, which is fine. I love talking about all kinds of topics.
We saw you interviewed on one of the channels, let's say, and it seemed like the interview was really pressing you pretty hard on why would you come out with something like this that's so controversial. Was that the general tone? Did you get more people pressing you than supporting you in terms of news stations and outlets and media?
No, most of the interviews have been pretty fair. The first newspaper article that came out locally here was basically It was a well-written and somewhat funny and entertaining hit piece, although the words that the gentleman used were, I don't know, a little bit vile. I don't know. I wouldn't chose those words, but it was well researched and it was entertaining. And so that spread pretty quickly. The interview that you're referring to, yeah, I think he was trying to get me to say negative things about LGBTQ. Look, I'm not going to shy away from people asking questions, but and then like I told him, I'm going to believe what God says in his word. I believe the Bible is God's word. God addresses all kinds of different types of sin in the ways that we as humans choose to do things that are sinful and wrong, or we're even can be born with those tendencies to do things that are sinful and wrong across the board. I'm not the one who makes the rules. I'm going to side with what God says and support that, which would preclude me from being involved with or marching in or outwardly supporting the activity of what they're doing. And just like they have the freedom to march and to celebrate their sexuality publicly and to do those things, I have the freedom not to do that. And I have a freedom to celebrate heterosexuality, and we should respect each other's freedom to do that.
We appreciate you standing up and taking the courage to do it. Do you think that this will encourage other people to stand up and celebrate heterosexual awesomeness month or values, or let's say other traditional, maybe Christian values, and be more outwardly spoken about that?
Yeah, that would be the goal. And I don't think that it's super important that we necessarily have a whole bunch of people saying we're going to celebrate heterosexuality every June or whatever. But I think what is important is that we need to have a country full of people who are tired of realizing, hey, I've just been sitting on the bench, not being involved in the game. I need to step up and get involved in the game. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. That means get up and stand for what's right, stand for what's true. And enough is enough with the extremeness that everything's gotten to with horrible things in libraries and chemical castrations and puberty blockers and all these things that are going on for kids that are affecting kids. So we need people that will step up and get involved, and they need to think local. Like, local is so important. We need to be voting the right sheriffs into office. We need to be getting on school boards. We need to be getting on health boards. And these need to be people who understand the Constitution and our freedoms, so that when another scare tactic comes and they're trying to control us by making up a bunch of laws that are against the Constitution, we have people there that are ready to say, no, that's not right. That violates our constitutional right, and I will not be part of a board that passes that. And so, if instead of having people on the sidelines, get them involved so that we can have things be the way they should be. We have an amazing form of government by we the people. So we the people need to be there to take care of that government, make it strong.
Amen to that. Well said.
What's the best and worst thing that's come of this?
Oh, wow. So I'm
Sorry.
excited about it's a saloon in Eagle, Idaho, right? And I am glad this happened on a local physical level because we do have more people coming in. We have more business. That's good for our employees. Our bartenders are making more tips. It's really healthy for our group of people that are on our team that work there in a physical space. Something even better that I'm super excited about is there's a lot of people who are now kind of paying attention to what we're doing. And I am hoping that, like we a little bit addressed already, that there's ripples that will go out from what we're doing and there'll be more places following suit. And one of the ideas I'm exploring right now is to start a group of bars or saloons around the country that kind of will agree to be that place that people can come to and not only engage in political and religious type of conversations that are important, but that those organizations would actually promote that. They want that to happen in their bar. We can do that as a united group of bars or saloons or whatever. We can do that by having the same event on the same night, and that means we're all pushing it out at once. Let's say they're going to broadcast somebody coming in to teach about what they've discovered that the CIA is doing to affect our country in a negative way. That's a very controversial topic, but if all these bars like pushed that out and said, come gather at our bar, we're going to watch this, and then we can all discuss this at the same time. These are the types of things that will be powerful. If we can multiply what's happening at Old State Saloon times 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000, I think it can become more of a movement that's powerful. So to answer your question in a short way, I'm really excited about the audience that's growing and that is interested in truth seeking, getting all the deception out of here, and having good, difficult conversations. And I know the second part of your question, you asked, what was the worst thing? I think you said,
Yeah.
right? The best and the worst.
Mm-hmm.
The worst thing, I guess it would be all dealing with all the negativity. I'll tell a story. There was a guy who came in the area and he had already been drinking quite a bit and wasn't making rational decisions. I had asked him to leave and he left, but then he came back and was urinating on our car, on one of our delivery vehicles out there in public. And so then at that point I said, oh, we probably should call the police. So we did. And I was helping the police as he was walking away, and he was mad at me. He was walking away, and I was trying to tell the police where they could find him. And then he ended up threatening me and saying he was going to bury me in a grave and things like that. So he's not very nice. And he was still saying those things as the police officers were walking up right behind him, which was not good for him. But they did arrest him and they took him to jail. But so I think dealing with some things like that's probably the worst part of it. I don't like to read all the horrible things that people are posting online. I don't like to see people getting sucked into arguments that are negative where they're calling each other names.
Mm-hmm.
I'd much rather see those discussions on Facebook and everything in the comments where people are actually respectfully listening to each other, and those are happening too. So I guess the negativity and people doing silly negative things would be like the worst part of it.
That's unfortunate, but that makes sense. There's always those people out there that are ideologically so hard one way they can't respect others' freedoms.
So, outside of this Heterosexual Awesomeness Month, outside of that, is there, or before this, what is your bar known for?
Okay, yeah. So we've always been known for being a constitutional conservative bar that's owned by Christians. And those things in a lot of people's minds that just doesn't compute. They're like, hey, how do those things combine? But we're doing our best to do it. And so I think what we're famous for would be some events that we have. We used to do trivia every Wednesday, but now we just do it about once a month. And once a quarter, we have a trivia night where we give away an AR-15 as a prize to whoever wins the trivia night. And
That's awesome.
the next
need to go
AR-15, I think the next one we're giving away is in July. I'm just waiting. I want to have the weapon first, and I want to be able to put it up on the wall for people to see. Then we're going to pick out the date. But the topic of that trivia night will be Rest in Peace, California trivia. So it's about all the downfall of California and how it's become a very yucky place. So we'll have that trivia, and I have a special co-host coming in for that. And I think that co-host is going to blow people's minds. And I think that you guys especially will like the co-host, but I can't announce it. I can't announce that one yet. Stay tuned for that. And that co-host will be really famous. But we're going to air it live on X when we do that one. And that AR-15 is going to be the best one we've given away. It's going to have an MSRP of about $3,500. So it's going to be cool.
Wow.
Wow.
That is crazy. That'd be a good eBay seller.
Yeah, well, I don't think you can sell those on eBay, William. Will has kicked off his own eBay sales strategy, trying to build his entrepreneurial spirit by selling junk around the house. Nonetheless, that is a really clever idea and way to get people engaged into the bar. And we will absolutely look forward to seeing who your guest is. I'm sure it'll be fantastic. Maybe outside chance we should just fly up and check this out, guys. We could do some trivia. What do you think?
We could, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, keep in touch. All right. So, have you considered other celebrations for your bar?
We are going to do more of this type of thing. Next month, we're going to do Awesome Patriot Month. Mondays are going to be called Military Mondays. And so anybody who's currently serving in the military or a veteran, if you walk in, you get a free beer just for walking in, for having served or serving in the military. We're going to have a couple other things going on, including patriotic clothing day or evening, where there'll be a discount for people wearing patriotic clothing. Later that month, we have unvaxxed singles night. So if you want to find your sweetheart who's unvaxxed, you can come to Old State Saloon on July 24th. That's important for a lot of people. So
yeah.
so
Well, we're in
that's
that
happening.
community, right, boys? So that's amazing.
So yeah, imagine if we had if we someday have that group of bars around the country and 2,000 bars will be doing unvaxxed singles night. That would be
oh my
epic.
Gosh.
That would be insane.
Oh my
It's
God, that would
so
be
clever.
Oh, so important about all the events next month for Awesome Patriot Month. At the special events, we're requesting that liberals do not attend. It's just for conservatives only. Reason is because liberals, if they're promoting CRT, DEI, and puberty blockers and all those kinds of stuff, it's really not possible for them to be an awesome patriot. So we really don't want them to be there on those events. And that's just a fact.
That is a fact, actually.
Nice.
Wow. I am loving what you're doing more every minute that we keep talking. These are really clever ideas to get this out. And I love how you're working on building an extended community, because it can often be very difficult or take a lot of courage or bravery to do this. Perhaps, you can get people and other bar owners or business owners into a community to feel more confident in taking stances against some things that we would say are counterproductive to America, patriotism, general logic, etc. That's really cool. I love what you're doing. We were kicking the tires on, well, I wonder what some other ideas, but it sounds like you've already had a lot of brainstorming sessions on this.
For every idea that we actually do, there's probably 10 really dumb ideas I came up with that we decided not to do. So if you guys ever come up with any, feel free to send them my way.
We had a couple, probably not great, but like one was what is a woman Wednesday, maybe, or something like that. Maybe it's a 2-for-1 special. Or we had a he, him bratwurst, right? Something,
there you go.
It's a menu item. I don't know. Anyway, those are really good. Yeah. Okay.
Love it.
So, I'm just wondering if so I'm a big fan of beer. Root beer. I'm just wondering, do you have that on tap if we visit?
We do have it on tap, and it's from Pacific Northwest. We try to have mostly all of our food and beverages to be locally focused. There's no dyes in our root beer. It's real sugar with as few chemicals as possible. So I don't really think it has any of those like fake things that make it taste a certain way. Or you guys know what I mean. It's healthy for you. So, and it's good. People like it, but it is on tap, and I'd love to serve you up a couple when you make it out.
Okay.
All right.
Amazing.
Nice.
And I love the other kind of beer. So we have a good setup there, I think. Yeah.
There you go.
So
right now we're 21 and over inside, and we're working hard to work with the city to come up with a plan to build a bigger kitchen and to turn into the zoning would change to restaurant. Once that zoning changes, then we can have people of all ages inside. But for now, my family, and I've got 6 kids, and their ages 10 to 19. Whenever we want to go, they come out front and sit on the tables out front, and they can't come inside, but they sit out front. We have a great time under the awning out front. So we do welcome families, but they do have to sit at the tables out front if they're under 21. The weather's been so nice lately that it's been a really good time for people.
This next question, as I was saying, is very important.
Okay.
I am a toilet paper connoisseur. And a lot of times when I go to restaurants or stuff, they have that really thin, nasty toilet paper. Do you guys have the 2-ply toilet paper?
The big toilet paper.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
You've won the hearts and minds of these two young
All right, that's
lads.
Good. Good.
That seals it. That seals it. All the patriotism was one thing, but now that you have 2-ply soft toilet paper, I think you've won the hearts and minds of Max and
Yes.
Will.
Good job. Good job.
So, Mark, I think that kind of wraps up most of the questions that we had with Heterosexual Awesomeness Month. Thank you again for bringing this out and having the courage to do that, and all the work you're doing behind the scenes to bring others into this community. How can we support you, or how can our audience support you? I saw Give, Send, Go. Are there other ways to support, and where do we go to find resources or find links to be able to do that?
Yeah, the best way is to comment positively and share online. If you see conversations happening, let's try to get together and be positive. Even if people are putting forward a bunch of filth and evil, I think that's the best thing to do. If we could overwhelm the evil with positive thoughts and positive comments, I think that'd be great. As far as supporting us financially, I just want to be clear, like we're not financially destitute or anything like that, but there are people who really want to like we've had people send money and they want to buy a round for the next heterosexual couple that walks in or whatever. And that's a fun thing for people to do because people like to be generous. They like to support ideas. So we do have a Give, Send, Go where people can put money in there and they can direct where they want it to go. But any of the other money that is in there would go towards, I really want to build on a piece of land that's close to here that we own. And that building will essentially, when it's not being used for weddings or corporate events or whatever, it's going to be used for all these purposes we've discussed today to further family values and people to understand the Constitution and to get the right people into office that have the right values and aren't the wolves in sheep's clothing. So anything that goes towards that, that's a big dream of mine to build that building. And if people want to contribute, I'd be super thankful. The other way of supporting is to go oldstatesaloon.com. You can buy merch there, shirts and t-shirts and sweatshirts and all those things. And then follow us on all the social medias, Old State Saloon. Just really appreciative for everybody. We've had so many positive remarks, emails, phone calls, voicemails. There is one funny voicemail that I think your dad would be okay of you hearing, but somebody left a voicemail and they did not like what I was doing, and he kept making fun of one of my body part sizes over and over again. And I think
How
you guys
do
might.
you have even known your body part size?
I probably wouldn't.
I don't
Making
know.
an assumption, I guess. Yeah.
It is making an assumption, but that I think we're going to post that cleverly soon. So if you follow social media, it'll be out there, and I think you'll get a good laugh on that one.
All right.
Oh, I can't wait. You have so much cool stuff in the hopper. We are excited to continue following you through your website and your social media, so we'll definitely check that out. I will plug all of the links to your social media into the description, and obviously we recommend everybody go check it out, subscribe, and stay in tune with this movement. It's really important, and I love what you're doing in terms of bringing positivity to the environment, but also patriotism, American traditional values. That's just so important. It's everything that we stand for, and we can't thank you more for taking the courage to do what you've done, and we wish you the best of luck. And with that, we can wrap up the podcast, but we really appreciate you coming on the show and sharing this. I know you must be busy with all of this news cycle and interest in what you're doing, so taking the time with us is really important and means a lot.
Oh, I was
Thank
honored,
you.
and it was a lot of fun, you guys. Thank you. Maybe we'll do it again sometime if we do something crazy enough to make the papers again.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Guys, you want to give a quick salute? Thanks
I'll
again.
do it again.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.